of Fire Country, Friday, October 18th, part of CBS Premiere Week on CBS.
Sunshine gives way to some clouds for tonight and a few showers from time to time. Lows will be dropping to near 50. And then October starts out October-like as we head toward tomorrow.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we're seeing extreme devastation following the arrival of Hurricane Helene. We'll go over the destruction along with the death toll and how many people are still missing. Plus, the man accused of threatening former President Trump's life at his golf course pleads not guilty today. And we'll hear more from the Harris campaign as they make a stop in Marquette with their reproductive freedom bus. Your 19 News on 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Up a level way, moving on, fitting off a few showers here, especially Marquette eastward towards Sault Ste. Marie by daybreak. Lows will be dropping to near 50 degrees. Winds will be shifting toward the northwest. And high temperatures tomorrow, as you can see, will be much cooler than what we had for today. But at least those showers will lead to some nice sunshine, becoming partly sunny midday and mostly sunny by later in the afternoon. Kevin?
And we want to begin with the human tragedy caused by Hurricane Helene. More than 120 people are dead across 6 states. 600 are still missing. And today, the president's Homeland Security advisor said the death toll could climb dramatically. But the full scope of the 600-mile disaster is still not clear. Helene crashed into Florida as a Category 4 hurricane with storm surge above 15 feet. Then it was on to Georgia, where the governor compared the destruction to a bomb going off. But the highest death toll is in North Carolina, hundreds of miles from landfall, where the emergency is still unfolding tonight. Many communities need food and fresh water, and with roads cut off, some volunteers are actually using mule teams to bring supplies to Asheville, North Carolina. You heard that right. Skylar Henry reports from just outside Asheville.
The Southeast is suffering. Days after Hurricane Helene's hit, nowhere appears to be hit harder than western North Carolina, where some areas received more than 2 feet of rain. Roughly 600 people are still unaccounted for.
But this is just, it's hard to understand. I mean, this is just massive. This will take years to clean up if it's ever.
The city of Asheville and the area around it has been largely cut off since Friday. Cell service is mostly out. Electricity won't be restored for days, and help has been slow to arrive.
We've got a lot of family businesses that have been here since the turn of the century. They're devastated, and they're just trying to salvage anything that they can get.
10 miles east, the tiny mountain town of Swannanoa is named for the river that runs through it, the same river that washed it away.
And this town is devastated, but everybody focuses on big cities, not here. And we need help, we need food. And I know people are coming, I know they're coming, and I know God's got control. It really hurts to see such devastation.
Anita Crowder's husband had to use a chainsaw to get into her family's home. Her father died a week ago, and now they say the flood took what little they had left.
I can't imagine that it must be tough.
It is, to see everything he worked so hard for destroyed.
Yeah.
It's hard. These people worked hard for what they've got, and it breaks your heart.
President Biden says he will visit North Carolina on Wednesday. He added that the region will get whatever it needs for as long as it takes to recover.
The man accused of attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump at his Florida golf course earlier this month has entered a plea of not guilty. Christiane Benavidez reports from outside the courthouse in West Palm Beach.
Ryan Wesley Ruth pleaded not guilty to 5 federal charges, including the attempted assassination of a presidential candidate. The arraignment lasted about 5 minutes. Ruth was walked into the courtroom. He was wearing a prison jumpsuit. He was handcuffed, sat next to his attorneys, and listened attentively during the hearing. This is his 3rd time in a courtroom since being arrested earlier this month. Prosecutors say he had been staking out Trump for hours when a Secret Service agent allegedly spotted Ruth's face and then a gun near the 6th hole. Investigators say once the agent saw the gun move, the agent opened fire and Ruth took off. Prosecutors say they also found writings that included Trump's travel schedule and when he would be in town. There's also a letter that he allegedly left with a friend where he wrote about his intentions. His attorneys requested a trial by jury. The case will be overseen by Judge Eileen Cannon, who was also overseeing the Trump classified documents case, which has been dismissed.
Tomorrow night, Vice Presidential candidates J.D. Vance and Tim Walz will face off in the debate. We expect the candidates to touch on certain issues that are important to voters while also trying to convince those undecided voters who they should support in November. Our Washington, D.C. correspondents Brennan Scanlon and Rachel Knapp are in New York City covering the debate, and they share their thoughts ahead of tomorrow night.
Good evening from New York City. Myself and Brennan Scanlon, we are outside of CBS News headquarters getting ready for the big vice presidential debate, which is going to air on CBS News Tuesday night. Brendan, there's going to be a lot that these two candidates are going to go over. What are some of your main takeaways, and what are you hoping to see out of this debate?
Well, it's interesting. So I was back home in Pennsylvania, which is obviously a key battleground state, over the weekend, and we really saw a lot of political ads. It's interesting, obviously, us being in D.C., we don't really see those ads so much, but you see Democrats hitting Republicans at this point in the campaign on things like Project 2025, abortion rights, reproductive rights, whereas you have Republicans hitting Democrats on immigration, on the border, on the economy. These are the issues that each party are really hoping will stick with voters this close to the election. I think we're going to hear a lot of those same issues in that vice presidential debate tomorrow evening.
That's right, and this is the only debate between both candidates, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. So this is going to be really interesting, and historically speaking, these debates, these VP debates, don't move the needle too much. However, this is such a close race, so everything counts, especially in some of those battleground states like Pennsylvania and Michigan. So we will be here, we'll be reporting from the CBS News headquarters in New York City, but for now, send it back to you.
The Harris campaign came to the UP to talk about abortion rights today. WZMQ reporter Samuel McKnight spoke with the Democratic leaders about why they made the trip.
This is a chance for Michiganders to hear about the stakes for this election for reproductive freedom and the stark choice we have before us.
On Monday, the Harris campaign's reproductive rights bus tour stopped at Presque Isle in Marquette to talk to Upers about abortion access.
When it comes to the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our families, and our futures, you, and not politicians, should be making those decisions for yourself.
Some of the main focuses included restoring Roe v. Wade era policies nationwide and concern over the possibility of a nationwide abortion ban if Trump is elected in November.
Donald Trump's allies have detailed plans on how a Trump administration would ban abortion in all 50 states, including here in Michigan.
So far, the bus tour has been making its way up the east side of the country over the last few weeks, beginning in Florida and finally stopping in Michigan. Democratic leaders involved in the tour emphasized the importance of Michigan and the Upper Peninsula in the upcoming election.
We may be the only campaign right now that has come this far north.
We know that oftentimes the UP is left out and y'all don't get a lot of visits from campaigns, and so we want you to know that you're part of this fight and we're here with you.
Samuel McKnight, WZMQ 19 News, Marquette.
The tour will continue making its way to other parts of the Midwest in the coming days. Marquette County's Sawyer Regional Airport is expanding service. Beginning January 3rd, Delta will be flying from Marquette to Minneapolis, resurrecting a route canceled in 2022. It will be operated by SkyWest Airlines, who believe this route will prove profitable within a few months. This is the result of a collaboration between the state of Michigan, Lake Superior Community Partnership, Invest UP, Marquette County, and private sector businesses.
What this does is provide a level of safety for the airlines so that they are not on the hook for a flight that's going to take a little bit of time to build up its momentum and become self-sustaining.
Officials hope to convince business travelers to consider the reduced stress of flying out of Marquette. Your first morning weather forecast with Tom DeVecchio is after the break. Plus, a dock workers' strike is threatening to hurt the pockets of Americans if demands aren't met. And a new study is comparing the act of shoplifting to someone using drugs. We'll have the research when we come back in 2 minutes.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The Late Show will be live following the vice presidential debate, so stay on your couch unless J.D. Vance got to it first.
Live Tuesday on CBS.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
She's fair.
Untrue, Your Honor.
What, you're going to have your turn.
She's inquisitive.
What in the world led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Well, things could get a touch wet for tonight. The wave is moving on through. That's going to pick up the winds a little bit and set off a few showers. Don't be surprised if you hear perhaps a rumble of thunder as we head on into the late night hours here. But after that, we're back to sunshine. Of course, tomorrow, the first day of October. She's coming in October-like. We had relatively warm temperatures today. Don't expect that for tomorrow. But on the bright side, looks like we'll see a decent amount of sunshine and very little, if any, rain expected once we get past the nighttime tonight. And as kids go to school for tomorrow, there will be a chilly breeze. Make sure they have a warm jacket on them. Some of you in the 40s, maybe near 50 overall. There may be some leftover showers, especially the far eastern quarter of the Upper Peninsula. But everyone should enjoy a dry day as the kids go home in the afternoon. We'll keep it sunshine, but cool, dry temperatures, only around 60 degrees as the kids go home in the afternoon. And there still will be probably a bit of a chilly breeze as well. Good northwest breeze could gust up to 25 miles an hour at times. In the meantime, Futurecast, as we head on through tonight, you can see those showers move out. By mid-morning tomorrow, they should be out of Sault Ste. Marie. Sunshine comes in quickly behind it, but it will hang around for the rest of the day. That's good news. You want that sun with the somewhat chillier breezes that we do expect. And then a few clouds come in for Tuesday night. Not enough instability, I think, to set off any showers. Might squeeze out a drop or two here and there. As we head on into Wednesday, a lot of clouds, particularly on the Lake Superior side. Those will be sliding through at times. And we'll keep the sunshine trying to peek out as we head on into Wednesday night. Things are going to go down a bit here. Good breeze here as this trough. You can see the wind shift as it goes on by. Some wind gusts could hit 30, particularly in Houghton and along the shores of Lake Superior. But the wind gusts, where you see the reds, that's where 25 to 30 is still possible. So things are going to be rather breezy into Tuesday night and even into Wednesday, looking pretty breezy as well. But at least it's a southerly wind. So your forecast for today here, the lows tonight, not too bad, upper 50s to near 60, and high temperatures for tomorrow, not changing much, only in the lower to mid 60s overall. And as we check out the rest of the 7-day, we're looking at temperatures could hit 70 on Wednesday, but then mainly in the 60s for Thursday and Friday. Might squeeze out a few showers for the weekend.
Thanks very much, Tom. A dock workers' strike is threatening America's Atlantic and Gulf ports tonight, and for those looking for a safe harbor, there may not be one. If the walkout goes on for more than a few days, consumers could start feeling the impact. Here's Chris Van Cleve.
Just hours from a potential strike that could idle ports from Maine to Texas, Miranda Summer is once again worried about her trailer and storage business.
If the port's closed, that means that our drivers aren't working, our trucks are sitting, our warehouse employees aren't going to have freight to pull for much longer than a week.
Her warehouse holds goods from the Port of Baltimore, which is one of the 14 ports that could see longshoremen walk off the job at midnight. We first met Summer in April.
Would this normally be full of stuff?
Absolutely. And we would normally see people in and out picking and packing and loading up trucks.
When her business was nearly halted after the port was shut down for more than 2 months following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
I think this was our final week. We said, oh, we're getting everything back. We had ships coming in, and now it's just another hit.
Negotiations have been stalled for months, primarily over wage and automation concerns. At least 25,000 dock workers could strike, potentially impacting nearly half of the nation's imports and 68% of containerized exports.
There's a little bit of buffer in the supply chain, but if it goes on for longer than days and it goes for weeks, the consumer could feel an impact.
Businesses have been preparing for months, bringing in extra inventory.
People do not need to rush out to the grocery store and stockpile goods.
New York's governor urged calm.
Was this avoidable?
My job as the governor of the state of New York is to deal with the hands we're dealt. You prepare for it, you hope it doesn't hit, but when it does, you at least say, we were ready.
Shoplifting is a major problem, and a new study reveals why people do it. Christine Lazar has more.
We've all seen the videos of smash and grab robberies, thieves working together to steal hundreds, even thousands in merchandise. But experts say those who take an item or two here and there are more common.
It's like a drug.
Terrence Schulman used to be one of them. He started stealing in his teens.
I was a pretty petty shoplifter. I mean, rarely did I take anything over $5 or $10.
But it became a compulsion and only stopped when he got arrested while he was in law school.
And finally, I was ready. A wake-up call where something happens where you're ready for help.
For years, the National Association of Shoplifting Prevention has said around 1 in 11 people admitted to shoplifting in their lifetime. But a recent study by LendingTree put that figure much higher, closer to 1 in 5.
What are they giving the reasons for why they shoplift?
90% of recent shoplifters, for example, say that they do it because of inflation. So in other words, people are basically saying, look, I'm only stealing because it's really, really hard out here.
LendingTree found the items most commonly taken are food and non-alcoholic drinks. That's followed by clothing, jewelry, and accessories. Makeup and cosmetics are the third most common shoplifted merchandise.
And while there are some people who really are shoplifting because they can't think of a better option, There are certainly some people who are doing it for slightly less noble reasons.
You keep doing something and you rationalize it, it can become a full-blown habit.
Schulman says for some people it's an addiction. He started the Schulman Center to help people suffering with compulsive theft and other addictions. According to Lending Tree, 68% of Americans who admitted to shoplifting said they hadn't done it in more than 5 years.
Still to come on your 19 News at 11, it's just about Oktoberfest over in Germany. We're taking a look at how hops farmers are adjusting to rising temperatures and how it's affecting their product after this.
That westerly wind. For over 30 years, I was in your living room, bringing you tomorrow's weather through tough storms and sunny days. I'm running for state representative to fight for the UP and put Peninsula over politics. Our current forecast is gloomy. Rising inflation and energy costs. People are struggling. My plan will lower the cost of energy, gas, and groceries and bring balance to Lansing. My forecast is for brighter days ahead.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book?
Covenant Books is an author-friendly publisher who shares your passion and beliefs. Call us today and we'll send you a free author packet to help get you started. We provide a full range of publishing services.
Covenant sells your book and ebook online and in bookstores everywhere. Our authors love us. Just look.
Be like these authors and get your book published today.
To get your free writer's guide, call now 1-800-215-6164.
I'm Melissa Slotkin, and I want you to know why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. It's my mom, but it could have been anyone's mom. She had survived breast cancer when I was very young, and that pre-existing condition hung over all of us. Then my mom lost her job and couldn't afford health insurance. That's when she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. It was like a grenade went off in our lives. I took a leave of absence to come home and take care of her, and while she was fighting for her life, we were fighting the insurance companies just to get her care. She fought hard, but we lost her in 2011. So when I saw politicians voting to strip protections for people like my mom, something inside me just broke. It's dereliction of duty, and it drove me to run. I approve this message because of my mom. She is why I ran then, and she is why I fight now.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. The annual UP Nonprofit Conference takes place this Thursday and Friday at Northern Michigan University, and putting it on is Grow and Lead, an organization providing nonprofits training and resources so kids in the UP can thrive. Earlier today, we spoke with their CEO about the importance of this conference. How much of an impact do you think it has on our area nonprofits up here in the UP?
A lot. You know, we have nonprofits that come almost from every county. We also have nonprofits that come from Wisconsin because there's nothing like that in Wisconsin for them. And we have some people that come every year. We obviously, with turnover, we have new attendees as well. But it's a local place for people to get professional development, high quality professional development. And people say they also really like network with their peers.
Sure.
And they don't feel so alone or isolated.
So what's some of the biggest advice that you're giving these organizations during this meeting?
You know, it's interesting because this year it's in twofold. There's nonprofit and there's professional development for both nonprofit and for-profit leaders. But there's also personal development woven in. So like I said, a little bit for everyone. There's things on the nonprofit side such as volunteer management, engaging donors, making sure you're using technology efficiently, those types of things. Then there's the personal development such as retirement, starting to look at, are you looking at retirement and how can you transition successfully? Or how do you tap into your creativity? And so how do you boost your self-esteem? So there's a wide variety of things. And then our closer is designed specifically for these times. Her name's Nicole Findy. She's backed by popular demand. And she is talking about how to have a civil conversation in this divisive time.
Marquette's Native American population is celebrating an annual memorial along with the community, and I should have said observing, excuse me. Today is National Orange Shirt Day, a memorial for Native American children subjected to inhumane conditions and treatment in boarding schools across the United States and Canada throughout the 1900s. In Marquette, members of the local Native tribes and students and staff from NMU's Department of Native American Studies gathered at the Seven Grandfathers Stone sculpture to recognize their friends and family affected by the schools.
This isn't an ancient history thing. Our people have suffered through this in most recent history. It's not even 40 years ago that we still have people going into that boarding school. So we have survivors of boarding schools still living today.
We'll have a link to more information about Orange Shirt Day posted on WZMQ19.com. Today is the last day of Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. Hospitals across the country are tapping into the healing power of music to help sweeten the tune of treatment for some of their youngest patients. But researchers at one hospital in New York are hoping new research can help make music therapy more accessible. Jared Hill has the story.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Sometimes a jam session is just what the doctor ordered.
It really just helps me relax.
Emma Zonazer is a little kid with a lot going on. She was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a common type of pediatric cancer, in February of 2020. Now, just 10 years old, music therapy, especially this kind, is helping her find something else to focus on. What do you like about improvising?
No rules.
No rules.
We know that it can certainly help with coping.
Karen Popkin is a music therapist with MSK Kids. At the New York City Hospital, she and other music therapists mix in a dose of melody to the medicine for pediatric patients.
Being able to be creative, to make your sound in the world, is one way to stay true to who you are, no matter what you're going through.
Researchers at Memorial Sloan Kettering are also studying the effectiveness of music therapy compared to traditional talk therapy, even after cancer treatment is finished.
A lot of research have demonstrated cancer survivors continue to feel high level of anxiety, symptoms of trauma, fear of recurrence. Those psychological symptoms are not adequately managed.
They think the universal nature of music can help people who may not be interested in talking out their feelings. They also hope this research leads to more insurance coverage for music therapy.
I like doing it with another person, like feeling the flow of the music.
Composing more moments like this.
With Oktoberfest underway, revelers in Germany are expected to drink over 2 million gallons of beer, and brewers are determined to keep it flowing. They're teaming up with researchers to save the suds from the effects of climate change. Tina Krause has the story.
The centuries-old Oktoberfest tradition runs deep in Germany, and keeping a cold one in everyone's hand is what the world's biggest beer festival is all about. But brewing a cold beer on a warm planet is becoming a challenge, so researchers in Munich are busy breeding special hops. Plants with deeper roots that need less water, making them more resistant to rising temperatures, drought, and disease.
We grew up here more than 7,000 seedlings every year. They are selected out of more than 100,000 small seedlings.
Scientists call this nursery their kindergarten, where they're aiming to grow plants over 20 feet tall into stronger and more climate-resistant hops for generations to come. They're teaming up with brewers, farmers, and students to spread the word.
The new varieties gives our farmers the chance to have an income and gives our brewer the varieties that they need now and in the future.
Researchers hope the specially bred hops will one day be brewed into beers served around the world, including those at Oktoberfest, helping to keep the industry afloat.
We'll have your final look at weather coming up after this.
Washington liberals like Kamala Harris are hurting our economy. They promote radical policies that raise taxes and increase inflation, while families in northern Michigan and the UP struggle with higher gas and food costs. Send this Marine general back to Congress. I'll keep fighting to lower taxes, cut wasteful spending, and promote policies that reduce inflation. Together, we can grow our economy and put Northern Michigan and the UP first. I'm Jack Bergman, and I approve this message.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, second gentleman of the United States of America, Doug Emhoff.
Y'all household has to be off the chain. This energy is amazing.
Then we celebrate some strong women.
For our store, it was early detection. If you feel something, say something.
I'm sure you're going to help save a lot of lives.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
As you check things out, low temperatures for tonight. Some showers will be popping up here and there. You can see them. Start to see some clearing, though, in the western half of the Upper Peninsula before daybreak. Lows not too bad, but this is could be about as warm as it gets for some of you, as high temperatures for tomorrow get into only the lower 60s. Early showers, Newberry east towards Sault Ste. Marie should be out, and then the sunshine comes out later on. Actually, a good looking day, but a chilly breeze, gust up to maybe 30 miles an hour along particularly the shores of Lake Superior. After that, we're looking at temperatures probably close to 70s, head toward Wednesday. Fairly dry for the rest of the week, into the mid-60s on Friday. The weekend, not too bad. Might squeeze out a few showers on Sunday. May have to add some drops there, but for now we'll keep it dry. Temperatures Saturday and Sunday into the mid-60s. Kevin?
All right, thanks very much, Tom. And finally tonight, an annual charity event in London honors a medieval rite dating back to the 12th century. Damian Lewis, the actor famous for his roles in Homeland and Band of Brothers, has been made a freeman of the City of London and so has the right to drive sheep across Southwark Bridge without paying a toll. Wearing his grandfather's woolen trench coat from World War I and supporting a crook, and with the help of a sheepdog, he leads a group of ewes over Southwark Bridge. The sheep drive tradition was resurrected in 2013 as a charity fundraiser, but it is believed driving sheep into London probably died out around the time of the advent of motorized transport. And that's all we have for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
"19 News" is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
I'm supported by generations of women before me who've spent centuries fighting for our rights. But Carl Bonac is supported by radical groups that would restore the 1931